By the way, we are streaming the same call, like this call, on YouTube right now, so that you know, and it will stay there after the call. So if you want to get a recap or something like this, that is where you can refer to. We have a YouTube channel in case of you, if you people don't know. Yeah, hopefully we will be doing more activities in the upcoming weeks and months. Let's see. And let me just officially welcome everyone. Paul, we were chatting a little bit already. You said Srini is a, or correct me if I'm wrong.
No, Srini, yeah, correct.
Srini, that's a
Yeah.
shortcut. Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm Karen. I'm founder of this Cloud Study Network community. Um, Basically, the idea here is that we run it crowdsourced, basically. So if you have any idea whatsoever, just ping me. As of now, I'm basically the person who is organizing the stuff, but that shouldn't be a limiting factor for this community. So if anyone want to step forward, and it goes in line with our idea that maybe we can set up local chapters of this community. So this is what we will be talking about today, and feel free to jump in, interrupt me anytime. There's no interruption. Basically, it's a conversation. It's not a lecture or anything like this. Um, yeah, if you want, we already chatted with Paul where we are from, and Srini also said where you are from. Basically, I'm located out of Nuremberg. It's southern Germany. Um, I will just pass it to the next speaker, and just quickly introduce yourself. What's your name? Where are you from? And that's, yeah, pass it further. Anyone?
Okay. I'm Paul Summit, and I'm in Columbia, Missouri. And I'm retired, and that's my baby boy right there.
Oh, okay, that's cool. What is there? Can you
He's,
explain?
he's a German Shepherd.
Oh,
He's
got it now.
he's 10 months old, and he's my baby.
Hmm. Oh, that's great. Thanks, Paul. Great to have people also from the States here with us. That's amazing. Srini, let's go continue with you.
Yeah, sure. My name is Srini. I'm basically from southern part of India, but I've been in Germany for the past I think 4 years. I came to do my masters here, but I mean I graduated and I'm working with Allianz Consulting, and I was also previously working with Amazon Web Services, and that's how the cloud uh, uh, passion or like topic of interest came in. So now I also want to like pursue more, and I was searching for groups here, and then I was really intrigued with your in group description, and especially about this chapters opening in local cities. So thought like I'll come in and say hello. So yeah, in a nutshell, I'm in Munich, and yeah, open for conversations about cloud and other things.
That's really great. Um, yeah. Anyone else want to step in and introduce themselves? We have Sarvesh here, Raj is here, Regate.
Hey, hi. I'm Raj Das. I'm based in Toronto, Canada. Uh, I work for a multinational bank as a DevOps engineer and service manager. And yeah, I'm very enthusiastic and passionate about cloud, AWS specifically. And I came across this group, and some of your goodies and discounts have really helped me actually. Uh, and yeah, I mean, if you're planning to open up a local chapter here in Toronto, uh, let me know how I can help, like whatever is expected out of me, whatever I can do. I mean, I'm up for it. Yeah.
Oh, that's great. That's amazing. So if you're interested in local chapters, that's great. You're in the right place right now, and we have actually a form which can be submitted. And I don't know, probably some of you, I'm pretty sure some of you have done it already. I'm posting it into the chat, and we'll be posting also in the live stream this URL to the form. If you during the conversation afterwards, this form will be open, will remain open. If you would like to suggest yourself, or just thinking about like running something like this, but on a local scale in some region, in some city, feel free to submit yourself there, your candidacy, and I will pick it up and get in touch with you. So the form is there; it will remain open. Um, yeah, that's if we have other people. Lars, nice to see you joining. You can introduce yourself if you want. Yeah, maybe I guess some people are having problems with audio settings, or just cannot speak right now. That's also okay, just to hang in the call and listen to the conversation. Yeah, okay. Whenever you will fix, Lars is writing into the chat that he is working on the settings. Whenever you will fix them, feel free to jump in anytime. Regate and Sarvesh, if you want to introduce yourself, go ahead. If not, that's also okay. We'll give you just a moment.
Hello.
Yeah, Sarvesh, we
Yeah,
can hear you. Go ahead.
basically I'm Sarvesh, and I'm working in just learning in AWS and Azure. Yeah,
And you're also interested to run a local chapter of your own community.
yeah, yes, sure, sir.
That's cool. Yeah, Regate cannot speak right now. That's also perfectly okay. Um, Sharat, if you want, we're just introducing ourselves. If you want, you can step in and say hi. Where are you from and what are you doing? That's okay. So yeah, guys, we that was this idea. We have a global community, and let me just give you a quick introduction to this community, how it has started, and um, how it's going on right now. We kicked off this community as a local chapter in Nuremberg, Germany, in 2019, in summer of this year, of 2019, and it used to be a Google Cloud community only. That was just under the umbrella of Google Cloud, and it has been going on like this, like for about 1 year. Meanwhile, as along the way, we organized the Dev Fest, which is a branded Google branded kind of conference, local conference. Usually, we did it in Nuremberg. We were the initiators. We did it together with two other Google communities. So yeah, it went pretty well. The only problem was that we were never fixated on only one cloud provider or only one technology. We always like discussed everything, and we wanted to be open-minded about stuff. And there were some tensions at the end between me and Google developer relations people. Um, and turned out that we just went completely independent. We changed our name. It used to be called Google Cloud Developer Group Nuremberg, like long and complicated. Now we just a Cloud Study Network, and network is there in the name because we are just not just some unit here. We want to be basically a network of same-minded people of professionals interested in cloud native and containerized serverless technologies, like everything related to it. Lars, I can see you. Yeah, you have your camera on. Have you fixed your audio settings? Do you want to introduce yourself as well? Seems like not. That's okay. That's okay. Okay, whenever you will, if it will change, just interrupt me anytime. Yeah, so starting from 2020, from summer of 2020, we are running under this name, and so at some point we came up with an idea that could be like a real network of local communities. Um, right now it's kind of difficult because the pandemic is kind of going on, and it's still pretty restricted how people meet, and they don't meet usually in big gatherings and big crowds. But I hope, and that's probably a good guess, that at some point, hopefully already this year, we will get back to normal, more or less. I mean, the world will remain uh, will be different after this pandemic anyways, in many regards. But I guess people will be more meeting each other in real life. That's why the idea was like, so we have this brand, it's called Cloud Study Network. We have a logo, we have all possible communication channels out there. If you are not aware, we run on Slack. We have more than 3,000 members. It used to be like super active, and that's not always a great thing because me as a community founder, I tried to catch up like with every conversation going on there, like for moderation purposes, but also like to help people out. And it was basically not possible to do it because like it was such a crazy rate of conversations going on and so on. So right now it's not as active as it used to be, but still there are all these people in one place, and if you will have a particular question, the chances are high you will get your answer. You can connect with your peers and so on. We have also a Discord. Discord, yeah, I tend to mix it up with Discourse, which is a different community platform. But Discord, we have a Discord instance with 600 plus members, and we have also a pretty active Telegram group. Like Telegram group, you will have a daily conversations on a daily basis. If you are not yet there, that might be like advisable to join it to have the conversations, updates, and everything. We have more than 1,000 members there. So these are our main community spaces where we have conversations. We also have a LinkedIn group and also Facebook group. LinkedIn is more active than Facebook in our case. And basically, we have this branding. We have a lot of partnerships, like about 10 different partnerships going on with different kind of vendors, service providers, and everything. Sometimes we get goodies from them, and we distribute them among the members. We run kind of different kind of challenges and so on and so forth. So everything, all these resources are there. And if you ever wanted to run something like this, a community on a local scale, like meet people, have exchange with them, like talk about like job openings, or like help each other with architectures, like cloud architectures, that would be a great basically initiative to start under this branding. um, yeah, what the guys do you think about it? Like, is it a great idea, or like the stupidest thing you could ever hear? What are your ideas about it? We definitely want to have a conversation about it, also about the naming, how you imagine this like going on in this kind of format, like on a local scale, like locally. Anyone, go ahead, jump in and share your ideas if you have anything to add here, or ask, or anything at all. Maybe you have questions. Go ahead with the questions then.
I put a note in the chat. It would be good to have access to all of those resource links. I think I'm on your Slack group, and I think I'm on your LinkedIn and possibly your Facebook, but I know I'm not on your Discord. So it would be really good to have access to all of them.
Yeah, that's also, I think Sarvesh asked for a Telegram link to the Telegram group. So what I shared there in the chat, and I will do the same in the stream as well, is a link to our, it's called,
Oh, I just shared the links from the meetup group, Karen. Sorry.
no worries. Thanks,
Thank you.
Srini. Yeah, that's a great list of our spaces right now. But you will also find all the up-to-date links if you follow the GitHub organization. It's basically github.com/cloud community. Right there in the README, you will always have this up-to-date list of our chat spaces. We have also a meetup group. This is probably how you discovered this event. And Yeah. What else? We are also pretty much represented on every social media out there. Only TikTok is not yet covered, but we will we will get there at some point. Yeah. Um. Yeah.
Um,
Let's go ahead.
Karen, coming
Yeah.
back to your question on the local chapter. So I just wanted to have a few questions. So
Yeah.
have you already checked out, like, are there any local chapters on the same study group model in any of the cities? I mean, not aware of anything in Munich or in Germany, but is it only for like meeting people and then propagating or like making awareness about cloud study group or something like that, or what is the vision of the local chapters? And
Yeah. That's a great question. So there are plenty of communities out there, and every major city would have different kind of communities. Um, I definitely, I'm pretty much aware of many communities, like not definitely not all of them, going on in our department in cloud computing, cloud native, Kubernetes, and stuff like this, which are like related technologies. Um, we don't have as of now, other than Nuremberg, where I'm basically located, we don't have any organizational footprints anywhere in the world as of now. There are different kind of communities already existing, and they're just there. You know, some are active, some are not very active. Some of them are dying out over time. Some new are popping up. So this is a dynamic process. If we will find any local community that would be interested to join our network, we can definitely talk to them and take them like get them on board. I haven't done it yet. I haven't talked to like third party, any other type of communities like in this domain, and try to convince them to join us. That's not even necessary to join us. I mean, the only idea here was that we have something, we have a kind of movement more or less going on. We have access to all these resources, to all these partners. We have a crowd behind us, like we on different platforms we have up to 10,000 followers and crowd basically behind us. So we can do something locally as well. Like I'm whenever I'm checking the statistics, we have like a lot of people, particularly from Bangalore, and we have generally like a lot of people located in India in this community. It used to be like German only almost, but once we went global and use in an online format where we detached from localities or local places, it went pretty much primarily into India. But we have like coverage from Asia and starting with places like Japan and up to Americas, where we have presence in North and South Americas. So everywhere. Yeah, I don't know, Srini, if I answered your questions. If you have like any.
no, all good. I mean, totally understand that. So, I mean, even my question was not about like acquiring other communities, but just want to understand like how different we would want to be. And do we have like a streamlined approach, or like how to study, or like how to start, something like that for the followers or the crowd, or
Mhm. Well, one of the advantages of this community, and this is what I try to preach like every time, that we are so open-minded. Whenever we see something interesting, we are open to adopt it. We are super eager to experiment with stuff. If you would approach me, any person in the world would approach me and say like, I want to give a talk, you know, in your community, there will be no like let me think about it. It will be the answer will be basically yes if it's related to our topic and whatever we do here, you know. Or if you have any other initiative, and there were plenty of them over time, we pretty much like at least we tried all of them. All I guess I only say like we don't do illegal stuff. Everything else we do. Some ideas stick, some don't. They just we tried a couple of times. It's kind of non-sustainable sometimes, and then we just drop it, you know. But we sure give a try at least, you know. So that's an advantage. If any other community is doing something what we find exciting, we can absolutely also do the same and even like build on top of it, you know.
So I have, I have a question, Karen. So like uh, here in Toronto, we used to have this AWS groups, user group, and they used to conduct a monthly session. Like they would just pick up a topic, and before the pandemic hit, we used to go to those locations, uh, and somebody would give a talk. There will be a kind of a networking with visa, and then they would distribute the AWS credits. They would just have like maybe one or two, so they do a raffle and they select someone. So this was the format what I have seen in the AWS Toronto user group. I've attended a few, but after the pandemic hit, it completely stopped, not even virtual. So I'm not like to run a local chapter, something like on those lines. I'm not sure how do we arrange the financial part of it, right? Because people getting together to a place, there will be some kind of an expense that's there. Also, the guidelines on what can be or cannot be done, those kind of things. Uh, I mean, I think we will need those guidelines to even start a local chapter. If it is virtual, then it's different. But if it is like a physical uh, location where people meet and network, I guess it involves much more than just a meetup or a Zoom call, right?
Mhm. Okay. Uh, uh, Raj, it was like super hard to hear you. Could you just sum up like what your question just in one sentence and a little bit louder so that we can hear you better? I think it was like about AWS meetups and that that was hard to find places at the end. Or sorry. Oh yeah, we cannot hear you. You are muted. Yeah,
Can you hear me now?
yeah, we can.
Okay. Yeah. So what I was saying was like here locally, we used to have this AWS Toronto user group, and we used to
Yeah,
meet once in a month, and there
once a
would be
month.
yeah,
Mhm.
once a month, and there would be a presenter like who would pick up a topic, maybe serverless or Lambda or something like Redshift, and then he will give a talk, and then there is networking. They used to arrange pizza and like networking, and then there was this raffle for AWS credits. So what I'm trying to say is like if we are going to do a local chapter on those lines,
Mhm.
there is some kind of finance that will be involved, right? Because you need a place for a couple of hours and all that. So how do you do that? Like, do you have guidelines on how that can be done on a virtual meeting like this? Like,
Mhm.
there is no location that we need to look at. Just a
Yeah.
yeah.
That's a great question, actually. So, and sorry for not understanding it at the first try. So, the idea behind how we will actually commit events in local chapters, the idea of local chapters is actually like giving you a chance to meet locally. So that's first, like one definite thing is that we now, once we split into local chapters, we can meet locally each other. You can, if you run this kind of sub community in your city, you can organize it and meet our or other community members. It shouldn't be not necessarily like our members only. There will be a chunk of our members, but that I guess it will be always like a some chunk of completely new people who are not even aware of cloud network. So one thing is to meet in person, and if you need guidance, how like as a community leader, how to organize such things. This is like you will have basically, and this is an advantage of this network. You will have a bunch of organizers, like fellow organizers like me, who will help you like really with advices and or with even organizing this stuff. You know, so finding a place, it's one of the pieces. Not that's not really a challenge. It's just a one thing that you have to think about as an organizer. Usually, co-working spaces are so excited about communities like ours. They are like even seeking and sometimes like providing goodies for communities like ours do your meetup there at their premises. Another thing I met a lot, that a lot of startup companies or just IT companies are excited to provide their spaces and also throw some goodies on top of it to, if you will use their premises. Because think about it, like it's always great for these organizations to have people like we are, who are professionals in this field. We will just have another exposure to this location. They can use it also to maybe lay out some open positions, which might be interesting to attendees like this, So there are so many advantages, and it's always kind of win-win between communities and different organizations that either provide co-working spaces or to some private companies, IT companies that would like to give you their rooms, like to run this kind of events. So that shouldn't be a problem. And again, we can not only just tell you, yeah, go look for co-working spaces in your location or companies. We can proactively like reach out as like you can ask me to do this, even like as a community, reach out to them and ask for this kind of time slots that we can use their spaces for to run this kind of meetups. I hope it answers your question. If not, like feel free to
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
it helps. Thanks.
Okay, cool. Where are you from, actually?
Sorry, me?
Yeah. Which city in India?
No, I'm from Toronto, Canada.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, Toronto is it's actually a huge hub for technology in general, and particularly for cloud computing, and yeah. I know plenty of communities, and we have actually like friendly communities there as well. Like Serverless Toronto is being run by Daniel. He's like a
And yeah,
great friend of ours, and yeah, that's basically, again, we have a network of people whom we can ask directly and ask for help to organize this kind of events.
okay. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Any other spontaneous questions from the attendees? I see we have a few more people joined. Abhinav, nice to see you.
Hello, Karen.
Hi.
How are you?
Yeah, we are great. Like talking here about the potential opportunity to expand into local chapters. Would you be interested in this kind of
Yeah,
initiative?
yeah. I
Or do you
already
have
filled the
enough to
form
do?
in the daytime only. I filled that form.
Mm, that's great. Yeah, the link is there in the chat, and we can maybe it's basically in the description of the meetup as well. So it will remain open. Anyone can submit. Paul, what about you, Paul? Is it something what you would be interested in, like meet some people locally?
There is a local Google group here in Colombia, but they haven't done anything in years.
Mm.
I got involved after the pandemic with the online things, and I've been really. I spend a lot of time online with these groups, uh, with AWS, with Google, with Microsoft. There doesn't seem to be as much Azure training sessions.
Mm-hmm.
Their AWS has their online training that you can take for free. Oracle has online training that I assume you can take for free. I'm in one of their classes. I like the idea of hybrid across, using various using the tool that works best rather
Mm-hmm.
than being stuck with Microsoft or with Apple or whatever.
Yeah.
And I'm willing to work with anybody.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so are you talking that you would be interested, like to be one of the organizers in your local region?
I will be glad to help you in any way I can.
Yeah, that's again, it's the best design is a win-win-win. So basically, if everyone gets some kind of advantage out of it, even like my advantage of while I were running this local community here in Nuremberg before it went global, that was I was always like connected with like people in this domain, like was there other peers or sometimes like companies would sometimes they would approach you, sometimes you would approach them, organizing some events, or you want to like kind of help them to get the message along or across about whatever events they're organizing and so on and so forth. So if you're in this domain, if you are want to be involved in cloud computing kind of proactively, that's a great place to be, like as an organizer of a community. And again, we don't want to have a vendor lock-in or anything like this. As long as you will be running under the umbrella, or anyone under the umbrella of Cloud Study Network as a meta community here, that's great. But if you once want to like spin off and have a different branding or anything else, that's also absolutely okay. And this is what I did actually doing with Google. I have been running like 2 years before this today. I was running under their umbrella, but then I decided no, we kind of disagree with each other. We really have different visions, and I spinned off this community like in a separate different direction. So anything like this can happen as well. In open source, they call it forking, and that should be okay by design. That's so no worries. If you are taking upon this, it's not even task, it's more like fun. But if you are taking upon this initiative, that shouldn't be like belonging to me or any particular person, that you can like run it yourself in any way, or with your community in any way possible. That's perfectly okay. And I just want to make it clear from the beginning, because we are more like an open source crowd based, that's our DNA, and we want to stay like this. This is where the great ideas are coming from, from the people, not just from one person. Yeah, we have some conversation here because some people cannot fix. Um, yeah, let's go. I posted there a few questions. Yeah,
Do,
Lars.
do I actually have
Oh,
sound? Finally.
nice. Go ahead.
Hi, okay. Yes, I'm working out of Oslo in Norway, so just want to say hi. It would be really great if we could have a group like this in Oslo, but I say my main challenge here is that the meetup scene in Oslo, it's very saturated with hundreds of groups, even though we are not such a large community of developers. I don't know how many we are, a couple of thousand maybe. But we don't have this cross-functional group that sort of does a little bit of everything, focus on cloud, but also does a lot of other things. So it would be great if we were able to start a local chapter with this group, but there would be really hard competition. But yeah, I think the main selling point here is the hands-on workshops from developer advocates. That would be really great. I think we would get a lot of people interested in it. So if you're able to get something of that, it'd be nice. But also, I would like to say thank you for arranging all these great things the last 2 years. It's been fantastic to follow you. So thank you for the hard work you put in. I
Thank
really
you,
appreciate
everyone,
it.
for yeah, doing it together and pulling it off, and just having fun while doing it. That's great to have people from Oslo. Oslo is the capital of Norway, and Norway is a cool place. A lot of IT activities are going on there, and as you Lars said, there are plenty of pretty much like every major cloud provider and every major technology provider is represented there, either with the community or just with some little offices, or sometimes bigger offices. So definitely a super interesting place to have a local chapter. And as you said, our advantage is we are open-minded. That's pretty much it. We don't have any no-goes technology-wise. If you want to experiment, like invite any people from any company or any open source project. There are no restrictions whatsoever. We don't have to think about competition or anything like this. We don't have competition. So yeah, that's the idea. There are not many brands or crowds or I don't know, like organizations. We are official, not an organization, not a registered one at least, which would allow this kind of activities under their umbrella and basically providing support doing it. That's why maybe we can cover this kind of demand. And yeah, and that's just a crazy idea here. We don't know how it will work, if it will work at all, but let's have a try at least. Why not? Cool. Is it everything that you wrote there, or should I really go through your texts and maybe
No,
there's something what we didn't cover yet?
yeah, I think I said everything. Yeah, so you don't have to go through it again.
Okay, cool. So that's great. I posted here just before this list of 4 topics. This is like our conversation shouldn't be by any means limited to these topics, but this is just out of the top of my mind. It just came to me during this conversation as we kicked off. The first point: who will lead local chapters? And I posted a form where everyone could submit themselves, and I have, like, right now, last time I checked, it was today in the morning, it was like 20 submissions, or 24 or something like this. So the idea here, we want, like, or maybe let's talk a little bit about the DNA. The DNA of this movement is being open-minded and being crowdsourced and crowd-driven, basically, and be inclusive. This is like super important. So everyone who suggested themselves or like applied themselves, they are free to go. There will be no I don't know, like due diligence or anything like this. um, the only thing we have to consider here is if there will be 2, 3 and more people, like, for the same location. And what I thought is, like, at least we should connect these people among themselves and see if they are compatible to run, like, in one community. That might be the case, probably all in most of the cases will be the case. But and I have experience also with communities. Sometimes people just have different opinions, and at some point they might become not compatible. And we still can think of it to provide maybe slightly different branding, but like let both of them coexist. Why not? What do you think about it?
I think that's a good idea, and they could just the, uh, unless they are really unlucky and both want to focus on exactly the same thing. So if both were going to be AVS cloud study group from Oslo, that would be stupid, I think. But as long as they have a slightly different take on what they're doing, it should be fine. But I think it would be confusing if there was a lot of people doing exactly the same I don't what do you call it, angle, if they both try to always do the same angle. But at the same time, if they want to like have that dispute, I think that speaks a bit badly about both people, to be honest, because I think that uh, if someone said that they wanted to do this in Oslo, I would say, oh, thank you. I'm so glad to not have to do it alone.
Okay.
So,
Exactly.
but sometimes so sometimes people do it for the wrong reasons. They might do this because it will help their career or something. So nothing wrong with that, but I think they should be able to collaborate, because
Mhm.
that as you say, that is maybe to me that is the DNA of this group, is that it is collaborative, it's about sharing, and that's why I love this whole concept. It's
Mhm.
open and we want to share. So but if someone wants to make 2 groups, that would be okay, but I think they will just both of them or all 3 would lose from it, because it you are sort of fighting for the attention of the developers and the community. And if you are one, you are united, and you come across much stronger, I think. But as you, I would not forbid them to do it, but I would highly recommend them to try to collaborate if possible. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's my opinion. But
yeah, yeah. That's great. Any other ideas about it? Like, if we would have two people in the same location that would like to be like to run their local chapters like in a separate fashion, because maybe they don't understand each other, they don't like each other. That could happen, or they have different visions. What happened to me? I was involved once in a women tech community. I tried to kick them out. I tried to support them and so on. And the ideas there were like, we can do whatever we like and we don't have to ask for permission. So I did. I created a crazy event like with a dancing in front of the camera. It was like a party event, like online party. And some other organizers, they didn't like it very much, and later on, once I left this community, they deleted all the traces of this event and so on. That was not really nice, but that was still in line with, like organizing something randomly. So there could be some tension, and there could be some different visions. Some other person would not agree to run exactly this event, and they want to have it in a different manner. And after a couple of times, they would say, you know what, I would rather organize something like on my own. So we have to think it through, just like conceptually. And yeah, go ahead, Lars.
yeah, I think that's a very good point. Sometimes when a group of people try to make something, some of them like to talk about it and plan, and it takes 1 year and nothing happens. While other people, they say, well, okay, I have this plan, I can do it in 5 days, or maybe I should say 10 days, so that people have time to sign up also. And when you have people like that, sometimes it's better to just let them run. So if they think it's better to do it alone, I agree. And you also have this other thing, that if you have a big city, maybe sometimes you often want to do thing on the north side or the east side or in the center. So sometimes it might be more effective to have a chapter for based on the location that you are doing most of your physical meetups. So that might actually be a very good idea. But to me, if you are able to make one in Oslo, I will be very happy.
Yeah, great. So the idea here, if there are no objections, we will be inclusive and permissive in giving both parties in the same location, like the stage and opportunity to run their own like vision, whatever they need for it. And they, if they are like, we have to take care like of branding, maybe like put like, stupid way would be like to call it one like cloud study Bangalore 1, cloud study Bangalore 2, and then no one knows like what is one, what is two. Like maybe some other like putting name of organizers there in some way. I don't know. I think once we have the problem, we can deal with it. Abhinav, I saw you unmuted yourself. Go ahead. You have anything to add to this?
Yeah. I just want to add one thing. As you mentioned, we can keep two peoples for the same place. But I totally agree with that. But before that, I will try to say that let the peoples meet first, because to create a local meetup first, then we can go for the hosting any what we say, any boot camps or any other events in the further way. Because if peoples meet together first, they will interact and they will associate with each other
Mm-hmm.
rather than directly talking about technically.
Mm-hmm.
So first it's better to match the DNA what we have, and then we can go for the events which we can focus in the upcoming time. For example, in Pune, there are so many companies there. The companies are in the main city, and the peoples are all living all around there. So
Mm-hmm.
what we can do, we can plan a meetup first, a small meetup, kind of a coffee meetup, what we can say. That will be a great thing to associate the peoples together, and laterly move with the events focusing towards the end of the day. Because what we have what happens at when the peoples meet, first they share their thoughts rather
Mm-hmm.
than just going for the any events. It's better to exchange the thoughts and go further in the formal way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. So to have some kind of a kickoff event where people interested in running this community would actually meet in person and have a cup of coffee and discussion going on.
Yeah,
Great
exactly.
idea. Yeah.
I think so. Paul want to say something.
Yeah. Go ahead,
Yeah, I
Paul.
was just going to agree with you. One of the things I have seen is that the in-person meetups tend to denigrate into uh, uh, talking about what's going on in life and not dealing with the technical issues.
Exactly.
And that's one of the reasons I'm preferring the online, is because I'm getting to go, and even if I already understand the quest or whatever they're doing in the class, I can be there to help somebody that's not understanding, and we don't get into uh, the relationship between people, where I don't like you, uh, or I like you a lot, which is almost as bad, if not. So uh, the I am really strongly in favor of keeping the technical meetings online and the meetups to have a cup of coffee and say, how you doing? How's your life? Because in this pandemic, I'm wearing a mask. I've had all 3 shots and I'm wearing a mask every time I go anywhere. And I love karaoke, and I haven't had a chance to go to karaoke in years now, so I just think that when we talk about the meetups, because of the pandemic, because of the tendency to start talking about life instead of the technical issues, if we're going to try and help people learn the technologies, then we need to keep them separate from the personal stuff. And that's all I wanted to say.
Yeah, that makes total sense, and I think that would be generally like great, and especially because we have such a big crowd of people across the world, particularly to run hybrid, at least when it comes to a technical part. That could be hybrid. I mean, you don't have to stream how you are drinking coffee like in the rest of the time after the conversation, after the talk. That's like that's not so important in this case. But like the talk itself, if it's a one half an hour talk at the meetup or a presentation or a demo, that would be really great to have a hybrid kind of opportunity to also to other participants to take place. And again, this is where we can help, like with the technology stack, with choosing the right equipment, maybe, or connecting with the right organizations, like locally, who would make it possible. Some meetups, not meetups, but some co-working spaces, some companies, they have everything almost set up in place, and especially after the pandemic, they should have by now like all the equipment. If not, we can think of other opportunities. Go ahead, Paul. I think you want to add.
I was just going to say, one of the groups that I've been attending their weekly meetings online is they do their technical stuff for an hour. Then they take a 10-minute break and they break up into rooms and everybody chats about life for 5-10 minutes. And then they go back into the main room and they do the rest of their technical stuff. And it's been very enjoyable. I've met a lot of nice people. And the when I tried to contact the Google group here in town, I got one email back, and that was it. So I've been more accepted by Germany and India and Canada than I have been in Colombia, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, the general challenge here is many people run it in their own time, and they are not like professionals doing it. So, and some communities, they are just like placeholders. They don't have, like, organizers don't have time to run the events, but they have all this footprints which are on the internet. You can find them, but not many activities behind it. So that's understandable. That's just like what pretty much, like, the pandemic hit all these local communities really hard. Those that couldn't adapt to switch to online format, they almost, like, all some of them even, like, perished, unfortunately.
One thing which I want to add is let the first session be the meetup, because that will interact, and laterly we can decide there will be a group of people who can let us know that which organization can help us to host the events, or what they can share to contribute, like whether we can host a hackathon or kind of a ideathon or any kind of an event which we can organize. But let the peoples meet first, because first of all, what if you want to organize it in the offline mode, first we need to know is what kind of peoples are available in the offline mode. Because what is happening being in the online, I can interact with you, I can learn, but the peoples are not always it's important whether they just want to learn only. But because sometimes people just want to communicate with people, they are just interested in gaining the networks. So that can be a happening thing to the offline meetups before going for any other events rather than before.
Absolutely. Abhinav, I'm with you. And the next thing, what I will do after this conversation, I will go through this table and this form, which was
Yeah,
submitted by many people, and we'll sort it by locations, and we'll connect people from the same location among each other. And
exactly.
yeah, that would be a next step. And then you can decide where you want to meet, how you want to meet, when, and so on and so forth. And if you will have any need for support, we will be always there. Um, so yeah, that's any other ideas to share about this general concept?
Yeah, I just wanted to add one thing real quick. Hi, everyone. Just a quick introduction. My name is Zaid. I'm from the Chicago area, Chicago, Illinois. I live like in the suburbs, but it's just easier to say Chicago. Um, so I totally agree with your hybrid point. And I think that's also a great way to connect people back to the cloud study network because, for example, if you do 1 week where you study Kubernetes, and then here on our Cloud Study Network platform, we have a Docker expert that's giving a Docker talk online next week. We can say, hey, everyone, we have a Docker expert from the UK. He's giving this talk at 7 p.m. next week. Please join in. Also, check out the community as well. There's people from all around the world. But I think, maybe if we can include that hybrid piece, again, as you said before, it's like open source. We don't have to mandate anything, like just an idea, putting it out there of like, maybe we can utilize the online resources that we have within the community.
Yeah, Zaid, thanks a lot. I'm really happy that you're in the call. That's amazing. We met like a few weeks ago, and that was a exciting conversation since then. Great. Yeah, absolutely. Agree with all the points here. Um, there are a few things on my list which I don't know. We don't have necessarily to discuss it today. It's a naming of local chapters, and as the community is called Cloud Study Network, I thought maybe we can name it like Cloud Study. We can take these two words, the first words, and have name of the city or the location after like as the last word, as the third word. It would be like as um, Bangalore seem to be like the most people with the most members in. So that would be like Cloud Study Bangalore, for example, or in case of Abhinav, it could be like Cloud Study Pune or something like this. What do you think about it? Is there a better idea? Maybe just go ahead, suggest anything. That could be like completely
That will
different.
be a great idea, because that similar sounds a bit similar to the Google developer groups. They have the same notation, like GDG Toronto or GDG Pune or GDG Bangalore. That sounds same. That will be particularly great.
Okay, great. If any other ideas are there, anyone, feel free to share now or any at any later point. Naming is important. That's why we want to have it as well. Go ahead, Zaid.
Yeah, just a quick question, kind of off topic from the naming thing, but maybe you guys already discussed this. Um, what is the timeline for this? Are we waiting till next year, or like, do you have anything in mind, or?
No, that couldn't be as soon as tomorrow. I guess that
Okay.
there's nothing like holding us back, like on a spiritual level. Technically there might be some challenges with that we want to overcome at some point or like decide, but I mean decision wise, no. That's as soon as I will just the next step would be either today or tomorrow. I will go through this submission list, submission form, and connect all the people in the same location and just generally announce how many locations we get covered, we covered actually with the submissions, and we will start from there. It can be in a chat conversation that you will come together and have a kickoff event or whatever. We can have we can discuss it actually also on Sunday. We have a community call. If until then we will have something in place, at least a list of locations and people who are. Uh,
Even what I can just put into the place, sorry to interrupt, but it's better, it will be a better thing if you can just float out a Google form for letting the people, letting us know from the where the maximum peoples are, because till the moment we will not understand what is the geographic, what we say, advantage or the peoples we have from different geographies, we can't decide that how many peoples will be the lead or whatever the stuff will be going further in the future.
Yeah. So I will share everything with you guys, with your community. Aside from email addresses, it's like private information. I will skip it. But other than that, names of organizers and locations where they suggested to organize such a communities will be shared pretty much either today in the evening. Oh, we have a flash here. Okay, there's some. There's some crazy hurricane is going on today and partially yesterday through the whole Europe. I guess Lars is also being affected and some
Yeah,
other.
not yet, but I was wondering, are you visiting Ukraine or something? That it didn't sound good.
No, that's weather. That's
I understand. Yeah, just a quick thing. What Saeed said about sharing, like if you think that making this a bit of a contact network. So when we have all the different chapters, I think that's a very good idea. When you have someone who wants to market their product, but they're also willing to give something back in the form of a workshop or something like you said, especially for Kubernetes and Docker, there's so many services. So if someone wants to tell about their service, but the developer advocates, they very often also they give you a sort of like a crash course on Kubernetes or Docker or whatever, and then they tell about their product. So when we get these people into the network, often they would say, "Oh yes, I would really like to market directly to Norway or Germany or Oslo." So I think that's a really good idea. And as you say, we have some contacts in the States, some in Europe, and you often have companies that want to market, go into a new market. So I think that's going to be a really good way for us to get people to do stuff for us. But as you say, Karen, we can only do so many things ourselves. We need people who are willing to do the real work while we are more doing the organizing bit of it. So I
Mhm.
think that's a really good point.
Okay.
Yeah. Agree with Lars as well. But just I also wanted to add two things. I think once we start this up, it won't hurt to ask the community maybe after one session or two session, like, hey, we're looking for some help in organizing. Help, will always be of benefit. It won't hurt anyone. So if you can have somebody help you out in organizing, I think it'll maybe make it easier for you, and it'll allow the meetups to run more efficiently. And if you're busy, maybe that person can take over that one piece as well. And the other piece is I know you have the Google form of all the people that have applied to like start their own within their own cities. So maybe we can have like maybe a Discord group or a Slack group specifically for those people. That way they can just throw around those ideas. And then obviously we have all the other channels, but like maybe one channel specifically just for the people that want to do the chapters and whatnot. I think that would be beneficial.
Yeah. So the idea here is that with Slack and Discord, we can have a separate channels for each location. Um, so that's a place where you can have local conversations with not only other co-organizers, if there are any in this location, but also with the community itself, like who are living in this location, and also among all local chapters leads, we can have a separate channel also among organizers of local chapters to exchange experience, like have maybe a separate community calls like among the leaders alone, something like this. Is it what you're saying, Zaid?
Yep, that's perfect. Yep.
Okay, cool. Yeah, with Telegram it's slightly different because Telegram is a different, like Telegram group is a different format or it's different space. We can have different groups for this kind of I guess for local chapters, like for every chapter a separate group. If it's not on overkill, I don't know. If it will be, we can decide it over time. If there are too many conversations in the main channel about the particular location, we can spin it off into a separate group.
One thing I want to put in place is that we can do what we say, uh, CSNs, two different places, communities can collaborate. Like, for example, the Cloud Study Norway, and if possible, for the workshops, we can integrate the communities. Like, for example, Cloud Study Norway and Cloud Study Pune, they can collaborate. Is that possible? Yes, Lars.
Potentially, yes, but I mean, what holds us back, like all the rest of the community, in this case, to also like participate as well. Uh, but I think we can decide it in on case by case. I don't know, like once it comes, because I if you want to team up with like another location, that's great, but then other locations would be, if it's something exciting, then they would like to
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
join it, why not?
Multiple things can happen, like
Yeah,
collaboration.
but we should have like as less restrictions as possible to allow
Yeah,
the creativity to flourish. And if you come together with Lars and you have a great idea, and just go ahead, and you don't have to ask for permission here from
it
anyone.
will be great. It will be an honor to work with Lars.
Absolutely.
I would like to work with anyone who makes it less work for me. That would make me very happy.
I will be pretty much happy to work with you. Mhm.
Absolutely. Okay, sorry guys, we are just we are more than 1 hour in the call, and some people, I understand if you have like tight schedule and something else, some other meeting or anything, feel free to drop off anytime. Otherwise, if there's topic to discuss, we can stay in the call for some more minutes. Uh, by the way, whoever is living, if you will be like, this is a stream as well, it will stay on our YouTube channel. You can catch up with a conversation that you missed afterwards. That should be okay. Yeah, sorry, just a quick remark here about the time. But again, if we have topics to discuss, let's go through them. Any suggestions?
Now I have to drop off pretty soon. Do you have like a code of conduct written up for cloud study?
No, it's like the code of conduct is a common sense. I saw so many codes of conduct, like extreme one by Google, like everything is like regulated and so on. Everything is like super artificial. So basically, there is a DNA, I would say, of this movement. It's being open-minded, being inclusive, being like welcoming. I don't know. I mean, we don't like spam. This is for sure. We don't like hidden advertisement. however, I must confess, there were a few campaigns, like some discount campaigns from the Linux Foundation that I posted. There was a affiliate link that I included there, and whenever, and this is like something what we can also maybe in the following discussion we can talk also about the financial side of it. We are non-profit, not by like officially registered non-profit, but like the effort here is basically non-profit, but there are opportunities along the way, and some other organizations or companies approached me with some kind of interesting campaigns where they would support us maybe with donations or anything like this. I think in some cases they would ask to register an organization, like a official organization, and this is also what we might consider and or might do like anytime actually. So that would be also, if there will be any income provided to this nonprofit organization by third party, by companies, this is also what we can also consider to split among the community leads locally and support them. I don't know, maybe if it's some buying some banners for their meetups, or maybe some equipment also, why not? As of right now, we don't have like official budget for it. This is just but we can think of it like in, not like potentially, but maybe in the coming weeks, and have
Yeah.
decisions made.
Yeah, and I think here in Oslo at least, the companies they won't donate money or something like this, but often what we do is we try to get them to, when we have physical events, we have them to sponsor the events, so that in the break, as we were talking about, when you have maybe a 15-minute break, maybe there is some pizza or something to drink, or whatever you do. And also sometimes they have some sort of giveaways, like I know, for example, JetBrains, when you register a chapter like this, you can register for you get, like, every month you get maybe one or two JetBrains licenses for IntelliJ or PyCharm or whatever, and they are very happy to give them away, so you can have raffles. And I think the raffles is a really good way to get some attention and get people to start noticing your meetup. But of course, sometimes people are only coming for the raffle, and there's a lot of noise from that also. But in the beginning, at least, it's I think it's a good idea. And I know the companies in Oslo, they are very happy to sponsor food. So food for meetups, there's also always a sponsor willing to say, hey, we sponsor the food. So I think that's a good thing.
Yeah, that will be
Yeah.
great.
Yeah, absolutely. And we actually we are taking part in this JetBrains campaign for communities. We are receiving 3 JetBrain licenses every month, and every local chapter, if it will be also possible for local chapters to claim this kind of benefit also for them on a regular basis. The only difference there is that if your community or your meetups gather more than 30 people regularly, then you can claim 3 licenses per month. If less than that, then they're giving away 1 license per month.
Yeah, and I don't know how important it is
But that's
for
okay.
every.
They are trying
Yeah,
to do something at least.
yeah, and also, as I'm saying, if you are the organizer, I just checked this out two weeks ago, or something. If you are the organizer of like a local meetup and you have regular meetups, in addition to the raffle licenses, they give, I think, up to 2 licenses for the organizers. So if you are organizing things and JetBrains are giving you licenses, you also get the license for yourself and your friend. So that is, to me, that is helpful because they are expensive.
Yeah, and they're good, the tools, the IDEs. Absolutely. Srinivas is asking, Karen, any specific cloud groups in UK? As of now, there are known local groups, not even in Nuremberg. It's only officially the headquarters is there, but I don't remember when last time I ran any like local event here. Uh, at some point we will. But you know what, Srinivas, I will, if you will ping me. I will let you know like today or tomorrow who are local organizers for UK. Or I will actually announce it like really soon, within the next couple of days, anyways, in the community. So you will be able to connect with them directly. Yeah, thanks Lars for the input. If you have to drop off, feel free. That's okay. We can reconnect.
Canada, one thing I want to just put into place, as Lars said regarding the code of conduct, we can prepare a documentation for that purpose because that will be great. That will be an official way of doing the things. As not to mention no more things in that particular documentation. For example, we are if you are say what we say if you are organizing anything locally, the person should be like have something you should have something written to that particular guy that you should follow these instructions, so that will be good. If something happens like bad, that will be a particular thing for being the community on the good side. That will be a thing that can be a, so
Yeah.
it's important to have some documentation kind of.
Yeah. So the idea here is, or like suggestion is to put together some kind of how is it called? So I forget it. Code of conduct, right? Yeah, I think we can put something minimalistic together, like but we don't want to be too restrictive and prescribe people how they have to talk and communicate and so on and so forth. Yeah, but and again, it's like it can go among it can exist among all chapters to make things officially. So if the same organizers are struggling with the same thing, this is where we can optimize it by doing it like together, fixing it once and distributing, helping other organizers to use this kind of resources.
Yeah, this was just an example from like a really big Java conference, and they are talking about economy also, but like the main thing is they say we do not tolerate any form of harassment against event participants, our members, or our partners. In particular, we ask that all refrain from commentary that unnecessarily targets gender, sexual orientation, disability, race, nationality, religion, or physical appearance. So that is sort of what you're saying, common sense that we. I actually liked what you said, Karen. Open, inclusive, be nice, just common sense, and
Yeah.
that is actually
No
that is.
discrimination. You can like put it short. No discrimination. That's it. You don't have to like put the whole sentences like I'm being a lawyer.
Yeah. But I like the idea of putting something there that just
There
says
can be
that
some instructions
be
like
nice. Yeah, so something simple that sort says what should the things
it
we
makes
shouldn't have to
something like
say.
that makes sense proper.
Yeah. So, but it is not a high priority, but it's something that we can keep in mind,
We
and
can
I
integrate
think it's
something like that.
yeah it sends a good signal. I think that we are saying that hey, this is an open, inclusive group, and don't discriminate. Just be nice and be yeah. This is about technology. It's not about being mean
But
to
yeah,
people.
that could be also about people. At the end, local people meet locally just to have networking going on. This is like super important in our business as well,
Yeah,
to be well connected with other peers. So there will be always like a human part of it, and that's
yeah.
what we all also want to address. Why not? And you guys are right, and we have to have some kind of framework, rules, like. But it will be reflecting the common sense, right?
Yeah, and I totally agree that Google takes it too far. It is the echo chamber of everything. Yeah, so they.
No, actually, what they are trying to do is just trying to do it like a very in a very sophisticated way and in a very nice way that nothing bad can happen. If
Yeah,
something bad happens, they have their total what we say set of instructions that you have break that. They
yeah,
can directly point it on to the person. You have break that particular code of conduct, so you are now fired.
Yeah.
So there's something like that. But we are not into that. We have a great community of peoples, but still
Mm.
there can be a need of doing something like that, we can just entertain around just for 5 things like be happy, be smiling, and something like that. We can integrate just like the
Be
Karen
happy.
smile.
If you are not smiling, you will be kicked off, right?
Be happy, drink beer, be nice, and then
Yeah,
everything
only
is okay.
beer is allowed, and always smile. Otherwise, you will get your ass kicked off.
Yes,
Yeah.
I
We
agree.
have rules now. That's great. We can fix it.
There always has to be free beer on the meetups. That's the only rule. So then we all agree.
One more thing
Zaid,
I
you
want.
agree? Go
Yeah,
ahead.
totally agree. I think one more thing I wanted to add as well was like, when I joined the Discord group, I was like, man, I'm gonna have to sit through that. And sometimes when you join a Discord group, you have to sit there and scroll through the constitution of rules that they have put together, and it's really annoying. But when I joined Cloud Study Network, it was like super simple. It's very basic, which I really liked. And I think if we follow that memo just all around, which I don't need to say anything because Karen, you're really embodying that. So, but yeah, another thing I wanted to add as well was I know Paul, he left, but he was talking about like how we can do like coffee chats and whatnot. And back to your point about how maybe we can have, maybe we can host networking events as well, and just have people come and meet for the purpose of networking. Because at the end of the day, if you want people to show up, you have to give them a reason to show up. So maybe that can be something. But yeah.
Yeah, absolutely, Zaid. And yeah, networking is again, it's like an important piece of what used to be like meetups before the pandemic, and many people went there just not necessarily. It was nice, like to have a nice topic or a nice talk to listen, and but it was also about like meeting the peers on a regular basis and having expanding the network and so on and so forth. That we can continue again to act in this fashion. That's why we want to have local representations, kind of, or activities.
I only have a small problem with that in Norway. These with the pandemic and this keep 1 meter and 2 meter distance rules. So in Norway, the meme is, oh, thank you. Finally, the pandemic is over with this silly 1 and 2 meter rule. Finally, we can go back to the 5 meter rule, because Norwegians are a bit standoffish. So so networking events is
Yeah.
not so easy. And also, with the people in the tech industry here, is also a bit like if Norwegians are keeping a distance, the technology people is keeping even more different distance. So we need networking, but it's really hard to do networking events with IT people, I think, in Norway. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's why we have Lars, who is easygoing and can connect people, like bring it closer to each other. That's that I gave a couple of talks and organized a couple of meetups in Norway and Sweden, and that's that's generally like people there are a little bit more reserved. They need their distance and so on. That's a cultural thing, I guess, right? But that was interesting that IT people are even more reserved. That's okay, cool.
Yeah. And also it's a bit Norwegians, they take a little bit of time to warm up. So it's when you have a friend who is Norwegian, it takes a bit more time to get to know them. But then you have a sort of like a friend for life. So when you have these events where you meet random people for the first time, it's sometimes quite hard to get the talk going, I think. So but we will figure something out.
Yeah, that's interesting. I mean, you should really start early and distribute the beer first.
Very good point.
As an icebreaker, and then maybe pizza can follow up, and then you can start talking and having the rest.
Yes, I just got a message here. I have to drop off, but it was really nice to
Yeah,
meet you, and we'll stay in touch. And I think this is the beginning of something really great.
that would
So
be great. Amazing.
yeah,
Let's connect later.
nice to meet all of you. Bye bye.
Thank
Bye,
you.
Lars.
Bye bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay, like out of the points from my list, it was there are locations to meet. I think we talked about it already. That could be like co-working places. I excited about this kind of communities, but also local companies. They want more people to visit their premises and have it as a hub for technical events and so on. So and we can expand it further. Like we can think
Uh,
of other
I just
things.
got one idea
Yeah.
regarding as actually I'm a student, so I can. There can be a college also to organize the meetups. That can be a place to organize meetups there where the peoples can meet from the industry and guide the students, even extending a more way and introducing more peoples to enter into the community. This will give a more push to the community, something like that, because that will add more peoples to the community, mm, which will be eventual students who can help us more. Because what happens from a person of industry, he has a what we say, he has a proper mindset regarding just the industry, but the student is always open to the ideas. He can think out of the box of the industry also, can bring something new, maybe. That can be also a thing to integrate the local community with the local colleges also. That can be also a thing.
That's a great idea. We have definitely to explore like these opportunities with educational institutions like
Because education institutions can support us better, because what happens when you go for an organization, the organization will think about the compliance and the consequences. It will think about the everything. But what the college will think, there will be a guidance for the future for their students, the first priority. And you will be like on the top notch of the college, because you are providing everything, you are providing support, and there will be an international support coming from the CSN. So that will be a great thing, and that will be an extending to the community. It will not just let the IT peoples or the what we say working professionals, let the other students also to come. This can
yeah,
be also can.
that's a huge potential for expansion and that you are in your senior years of your studies, right?
Yeah.
And that you are a
Just
great
3 months
example.
remaining.
Oh, okay, good luck. Are you on your master thesis or what are you doing right now?
I'm just on my bachelor's.
Bachelor, okay,
Yeah.
cool. Oh, nice. Like you're a great example of this kind of vector that we can expand.
Yeah.
Um,
And even Antriksh can also help for that.
yeah, yeah. And Dirk is also still studying, I guess.
Yeah.
Um,
No, no, he's a passed out student.
oh,
So
okay.
yeah, he's a working professional now.
Hmm. Yeah. And the last point from my list is like places to list events and have conversations. Again, conversations we already talked about. We have all this place where we have regular conversations. If there is a need, feel free and anyone can just spin off their own in his Telegram. That would be like logical to have a local group. And there will be back and forth conversation, or we can connect them in a way. um, and we will be promoting all this local chat spaces for people who will be entering our movement or our like meta organization or community, so that everyone is aware. We can list them basically everywhere where we
Yeah,
have.
you can float a Google form to know the geography of mainly the peoples, because that will only help us to make the communities. If something like this happened, there are only 5 peoples from Pune, that will not make any good sense of making a community over here, because that will like 5 people, what they will do, they can just meet up, and that can be a local chapter.
Yeah, but if you only have like 5 people who indicated people who are from Pune or from any other location,
Yeah.
you can still organize something. We
Yeah.
can help you, and then more people will come. Actually, I
Yeah,
guess, right?
that can also be a thing. So that first of all, what we need to know is what the people, what the type of peoples, and from where the geographic locations they mainly are. Because if we can know that, we can target directly to them. We
Hmm.
don't have to think that whether we have to go
Hmm.
there or not, something like that.
Okay. So what we will do, my homework is to make it transparent, like all the submissions to the forum, where
Yeah.
we have our interest of organizers to organize something. Another thing would be to go ahead, especially like with Discord and Slack, and create all these local channels.
Exactly.
Maybe upfront already, before we have actual events going on, and yeah, just to put it there. So that people from local places will be able to join this channels, like to stay up to date what's going on in their location. Any other tasks for me or for anyone? What we can take with us and
Just
complete?
one more thing as well. Karen, if you need help with anything at all, please feel free to let me know. Um, I think I can share with you my email. You have my Twitter as well. So just really, anything at all, I'm here to help. So
Same from my side also, Karen.
Thanks so much, guys. Zaid, you would be actually interested to run local chapter, right?
yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's great. That's great. That's already a lot. And again, it's not like something for me. This is like I want to have this mindset among community and people and leads. That's a great opportunity, like to meet other peers in your region, to get connected with them, to gain this kind of organizer experiences. Like this is super valuable. Whatever company
Mhm.
you will be later on working, that's a skill, because many organizations and companies nowadays, they organize this kind of stuff on a regular basis. Like this is my experience. This is where I started. Conferences, hackathons, anything like this. And if you can try these things yourself already now and get up your skills in this regard, that would be just you will be already like professional in it once your organization needs it, from you.
Right. Yeah. And again, I'm really grateful for this opportunity because I had this idea in the back of my head, but being under the cloud study branch, I don't know. I don't know. I can't tell you why, but it feels like it takes a weight off my shoulders, because it's under that umbrella. So it feels easier. You have other people that are doing it with you, and it's just easier to go ahead and make that push to start it. But yeah.
Oh, thanks, Said, so much for the kind words. Let's do great stuff together. That's why we come together and we stay in touch and just that's fun as well.
Yep, totally. I have to drop off, but I plan to be on that Sunday call. I think I woke up late, so I missed the last Sunday call, but I'll be on this one for sure. But
You
yeah,
haven't missed anything. Like I opened the call and there were like for 5 minutes there were no one, and just closed the call and went with my stuff. And I was busy with other stuff anyways. But
oh,
yeah,
okay,
there were no basically last call was like kind of skipped. No worries.
got it.
Okay, Zaid, take care. Nice to see you next time. And I guess we can wrap it up if there are no questions or anything else, right?
No questions from my side, Karen.
Okay. Thanks everyone for taking time and tuning in. And let's see each other next time. And bye bye for now. Take care.
Perfect.
Bye bye,
Sounds
Karen.
good. Thanks. Bye
Bye.
bye.
Bye
Bye.
bye.